Hello, my name is Elizabeth Zani Wachira, and I'm an environmental consultant. I run my own environmental consultancy called Green by Choice, which I've been running since 2005. I haven't always been self-employed. I have been employed in the past. After my A-levels, I did a very intense, short secretarial course, and I was lucky to get a good job at the European Union, where I worked for 6 years. And after that, I decided to go into the NGO world, where I worked for an NGO called Sight Savers International, which is a British NGO that deals with eye care, eye health, rehabilitation of blind people, and teaching blind people how to have skills. After the NGO, I went into business. I kind of got tired of being employed and I wanted to have a taste of being self-employed. So I bought a small business that was being run by a relative of mine, actually. It was a fish and chips business. And I ran this business for about 3 or 4 years. Now, anyone who has been in business will tell you that if it's a cash business, you have to be there. If you're not there, forget it. You're just working for the benefit of other people. So what happened to me is in the course of the business, I decided to go back to school. I had just my A-levels at that time. I didn't have a degree, and I had always wanted to get a degree, and I had gotten enough points when I did my A-levels, but due to some family reasons, I didn't go to university when they called us, so I opted to work. But in my mind, I always knew one day I have to go back to university. So while running this fish and chips business, I decided, okay, maybe now I have a bit of flexibility. Let me go back to school and get this degree. So that's exactly what I did. But of course, my focus now was on my studies, not on the business. So the business started suffering, and I wasn't there. The staff knew that my attention was not there. So things started going wrong, and in the end, I was forced to sell the business. However, I continued with my studies, and I managed to get my degree. I always tell people it's never too late to go back to school. I was 33 years old when I enrolled to do my first degree. I used to think, oh, maybe I'm a bit old. But then when I got there, I realized there are so many people like me there, my age, even people older than me, doing degrees. And all of us were doing our first degree. And immediately I felt at home. I fitted in, and I was comfortable, and I read, and I enjoyed the reading. Because when you do it, when you're a bit mature, you're doing it because it's your wish and your decision to do it. You're not doing it because your parents told you to do it. You're not doing it because you feel it's what everybody else is doing, therefore I must do it. You're doing it because it is your decision. So I really enjoyed my time in college. I enrolled at USIU. I did a degree in International Business Administration, and I graduated, and I finally felt fulfilled, at least up to an extent. So after doing my degree, I knew one thing. I knew that I didn't want to be employed again. By that time, I had already had 2 children, and I knew that I needed that flexibility to be able to be with my kids when I wanted to be with them. I didn't want to ask anybody for permission to go for sports day or parents' day. I wanted to be my own boss. So what I did is I looked around. I wasn't very sure what I would do after graduating. Then a friend told me about a course, a short course, which I could do, an environmental course, which would enable me to register with NEMA. The only thing that NEMA was asking for was a degree. It didn't matter what the degree was in, as long as you had a degree, because degrees are broad. They are multidisciplinary. In a degree, you learn so many things. So they just wanted somebody who has a degree to go and do this course. So I seized that opportunity. I took that chance, and I went to this place. It's called the Kenya National Cleaner Production Center. It's in South Sea. And I made inquiries, and it looked like exactly what I wanted. I had also always had an interest in the environment, so this was the perfect thing for me. So I registered, and I did the course. It's a 3-week course, short but very, very intense, full-time from 9 to 6, including Saturday, sometimes even Sunday. And by the end of it, you leave with a very fat file full of information, but it is worth it. It is short and intense, but it is worth it because you finish quickly. You get a lot of information in a very short time, and with that, you are now able to go and register with NEMA. And once you have your registration with NEMA, you can begin consulting. Now, the consultation is mostly environmental impact assessments, environmental audits, environmental due diligence, all kind of environmental consultancies. And that's what we've been doing since 2005. My work is very exciting work. It takes me all over the country. I have seen places of Kenya that I had never seen until I started doing this work. So I would say it's a very good field to be in because, again, it's a lot of field work. There's no full-time desk job where you're shuffling paper the whole day. It's not like that. You're in the field. You're dealing with different clients all the time. Therefore, there's no monotony. There's no boredom. It's exciting because each job is very different from the next. So, for example, I've been up to Turkana. We've worked in Lodwar. I've been to Kisumu. We've worked with the Lake Basin Development Authority. We've done a lot of work down at the coast in Kwale, Kilifi. I've even done what we call critiques of other people's work. Somebody will bring me a document and ask me to critique it. Maybe they're not happy with the decision NEMA made, or maybe they're not happy with the way the other consultant did the job. So we've done critiques of things like work in Lamu, for example, the Lamu port. We were asked to critique that. We were also asked to critique some work that some energy companies are doing. So the work is very interesting, it's very diverse. You get to do all kinds of things, you meet all kinds of people, you go to all kinds of places. The bulk of our work, of course, is in Nairobi because that's where most of the development is happening, where also most of the investors want to invest in and around Nairobi. So we find ourselves mostly in the Nairobi area. When it comes to my education, I would say that I am a Loreto girl through and through, starting with Loreto Convent, Mombasa. And then when our mother got a job in Nairobi, she moved to Nairobi with us. We were small, we were young at that time, so I was in Loreto Convent, Valley Road. Then after Valley Road, because in those days Valley Road only went up to Standard 7, and they used to take boys, so my brother was with me in Loreto Convent, Valley Road, but boys were only taken up to Standard 2. So when my brother moved to St. Mary's, I also moved to Musongari, so I was again a Loreto girl in Loreto Convent, Musongari, and I stayed there until I did my A-levels in 1983. So my schooling has been Loreto through and through. Schooling in Loreto, you get a lot of influence from the teachers, the nuns. There's a very strong tradition in Loreto. And of course, it's a Catholic school, so it doesn't mean you have to be Catholic to go there, but majority of girls who go there are Catholic, but you have all kinds of girls as well. different Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, everybody comes there because in my day, and I think possibly also today, Loreto was known to offer a superior level of education. If you look today at some of our leaders in the country, many of them, if you dig deep, you will find that they were Loreto girls. I can give you a few examples. One of them is Judy Wahungu. The other one is Rachel Omamo. These were all my seniors in school, Loreto girls, and we're all very proud of them because they're doing so well. So Loreto used to instill discipline in the girls and values of hard work, a working ethic, integrity, and it was a very wholesome kind of education. It wasn't just book-based, although academics was a very, very important part of it. But we got a lot of exposure to drama, the arts, Kenya Music Festival. We used to participate every year. We used to win a lot. Drama was a big thing at Loreto Msongari. We were famous for our musicals with the late James Falkland. Sports is a very, very big thing as well, and also swimming. So you'll find that we received a very wholesome education. Swimming was actually a lesson, like geography or like maths. Swimming was in the timetable. So every girl who has been to Loreto can swim. Or even if not as an expert swimmer, we're at different levels, but at least you'll find a Loreto girl has the ability to swim, and many of them are champion swimmers actually. So I would say that the values that I gained from Loreto are instrumental in making me who I am today. The ethic of hard work. I believe a lot that hard work pays and that nothing comes easily. In life, you have to work. And if you want to achieve and enjoy some success, it doesn't just come like that. You have to put in the effort. You have to work hard. And then you also have to be honest in your undertakings with other people. In your everyday work, you come across all kinds of situations. You will find that maybe sometimes you're entering into a transaction. Honesty, openness are key virtues. You must be always open and honest with the people you're dealing with, because that is what makes people trust you. Trust is very, very important in your daily undertakings. I would say we have grown today in my consultancy largely because of trust. Because when we say something, when we say we will deliver, we do our best to deliver at a certain time, within a certain time frame. Of course, it's not always in our hands because we work closely with NEMA. All the reports that we produce here in the office, we have to submit them to NEMA, and then NEMA have to make the decision. So sometimes it's not entirely in our hands, but wherever it is in our hands and our ability to influence and meet our clients' expectations, we do that. And not only do we try to meet our clients' expectations, we actually go an extra mile and try to exceed them. So our policy really is to under-promise and to over-deliver. That way the client is always pleasantly surprised. Rather than and then you create expectations, and then sometimes the client might feel, well, maybe you didn't quite live up to that expectation. So it's better to under-promise, in our opinion and in our experience, and over-deliver. That way you have a client that is delighted. Young people today are always very eager to enter into business. Business is a good thing. I don't discourage young people to enter into business, but there is a but. it's important to first of all get experience of being employed. When you are employed, you learn a lot. You learn about discipline, you learn about time management, you learn about working culture in different organizations, you learn how to work with other people, you learn about deadlines, you learn about doing your work properly. These are important things which now you can bring into your business later when you are self-employed. If you go straight into self-employment, you're coming from a place where you don't have skills that are necessary to be self-employed. It's very, very important to first be employed, because then you will learn a lot of things that will help you to be a better self-employed person, eventually a better manager, a better owner of the business. And when you start hiring, you know about different roles and responsibilities people have to play. You learn about office culture. You know, you have to have systems in place. You have to have someone who is in charge of staffing issues, HR issues, administrative issues, an office manager. You need to have someone who takes care of your petty cash, who takes care of the payments. When you're starting, you may not have the resources to have a full-time person to take care of all these things. So what a lot of people do nowadays, and we also started the same way, we used to outsource. So we had an accountant who would come in and do the books and go. But as we have grown and we have felt that there's need to have a more permanent presence in the office of a finance and admin person, we now have somebody here who is full-time engaged on that side of things. So they take care of the office expenses. In an office, you have to buy things for the office to run. You have to buy your tea and coffee for the staff. You have to buy accessories and other groceries for the office. They take care of the payroll. They take care of all these things that need to be taken care of, the rent, payments, chasing up our clients, and all these kinds of things. So being self-employed is wonderful, and most likely if you decide to be self-employed, you will start off being everything yourself. You will be the manager yourself, you will be the messenger yourself, you will be everything in between yourself. But as you grow, and there's no reason why you shouldn't grow if you stick to those values I talked about earlier: integrity, honesty, fairness, all those things, delivering on your promises, being reachable. That's another thing that is a bit lacking nowadays. You find that when somebody knows that they haven't delivered, they will not answer the call that they see coming. Maybe they can see somebody is calling, they read, oh, this is so-and-so, they want to ask me if I've done this and this, and I know I haven't, therefore I don't answer. You must always be reachable to your clients. Even if you're telling your clients, I'm sorry, I've been so busy, I haven't managed to do the work, but I will get around to doing it. Be reachable and be accessible to your clients, because that way you don't start looking like you're a dishonest person. Honesty is very important. I mentioned that a short while ago. So be accessible, be reachable. To me, success really is, I think I would say success is enjoying what you do, and also having the resources to enable you to enjoy what you do. For example, I like traveling. I like to be able to buy myself an air ticket. I like to be able to go somewhere, see things that I'm interested in, go with people that are close to me, enjoy a good time out there. For me, that is success. It doesn't necessarily mean you have buckets and buckets of money somewhere or a big fat bank account. For me, that is not necessarily success. For me, success is enjoying what you do, waking up in the morning and looking forward to going to work. And because you enjoy it so much, it doesn't feel like work. It actually feels like you're getting up and you're going to a place you enjoy going to, a place you enjoy being at. Because remember, your work is where you will spend many, many hours of the day. Now, if you don't enjoy it, really, I mean, what does that say? It means that you will not enjoy your life. So it's very important that you do something you enjoy, and it's an added bonus if the thing you enjoy gives you some good income to enable you to realize some of your dreams. Your dream can be different. Maybe your dream is to build a nice house somewhere. That's perfectly fine. Your dream might be to, I don't know, buy a jet or a yacht, a fancy boat. That's perfectly fine. Or to have a big farm. That's perfectly fine. But if you can find a formula that helps you to do work that you enjoy doing, then really I would say you're on the road to success. Yeah. So about careers, okay.
Yeah, because you mentioned about when you want to go into business.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe now about career.
Okay,
okay. Okay, for you, you said about you love the environment.
Yeah,
yeah.
Environment. Yeah.
So
yeah.
how would you advise somebody who is in school?
Yeah.
Or maybe starting out on a career, how to to go about the career aspect.
Okay.
Now that you mentioned about the business.
Okay. Now, when you're trying to think of your future career and what you'd like to become once you finish your studies, I think it's important to follow your gut feeling and your passion. What is it that you enjoy doing? What is it that you're good at? I know of cases of people who have become doctors because that's what their parents wanted them to do. That's what the father said, you must become a doctor. You know, we're a family of doctors. I'm a doctor, so you also must become a doctor. Don't let us down. And I know of cases where someone has become a doctor, but that's not really what they wanted to do. They became a doctor because the dad put that pressure on them. So they get the degree, and then I've even heard of cases where they go back with the degree and say to the dad, okay, here's your degree. Now let me go and do what I want. It's very important that you do something you're passionate about. And this ties in with the whole issue of enjoying your work. When you are passionate about, let's say, mathematics, there are options you can explore. You can become an accountant, you can become an actuarial scientist, you can become a pilot. And it's important, nowadays we have the internet. This is the information age. Everything is at your fingertips. Just go online and see. Key in, what kind of career can a mathematician go for? What kind of career can a geography person go for? What kind of career can a historian go for? Then you have all the options there in front of you. So the internet is your best friend. Google is your best friend. Use the internet to get all the information you need. If it's literature, literature is fantastic. You can become a journalist, you can become a writer, you can become, there are many options. You can become a poet, you can become a story writer. There are lots of options for you. I did literature for my A-levels. Up to today, I enjoy reading and I enjoy writing. And you can see actually literature students, you can tell a literature student because they write very well. So whatever it is, whatever subject it is you enjoy doing, the options are open there for you. It is limitless. Just go online or talk to people, ask them, Look, I am interested in, my favorite subject is the English language. My favorite subject is Kiswahili. What options do I have? And you will be surprised. There are many options out there for you. So use the internet, talk to people, find out what's going on out there, and you will be amazed at the options that are there available to you. Yeah, like I said, the internet is your best friend. Now, how would I like to be remembered? What legacy would I like to leave? I think to a large extent, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like things done properly. I don't accept shoddiness. I don't accept careless work. I don't accept work being done anyhow. Because at the end of the day, I have to sign the letters that leave my office here, whether it's written by me or by one of my staff. I have to sign all the reports that we submit to NEMA, whether it's written by my staff or myself. So my signature is there, which means I have to be accountable. And I cannot be accountable for work which I feel is substandard. So my legacy is, I would like to be remembered as somebody who strived for perfection. I would also like to be remembered as somebody who worked hard to uplift her community. I am involved in some initiatives. I'm in a group of coast professionals. I am the secretary of the Pwani Foundation Education Fund, which is a fund that educates bright, young coastals from disadvantaged backgrounds. A few of us raise money, and then we decide who are we going to give this money to, or which institution are we going to pay that will educate this young person. So I'm quite actively involved in that, and actually one of the key roles I have played is to create linkages with other corporate bodies. For example, now we get young people being funded by Family Bank, and that was an initiative I had. We get young people being funded by the Kenyatta Foundation, the Kenyatta Trust. We get young people also who have been funded by there's Pwani Foundation itself. We raise money. So at the moment, I think we have seen about maybe close to 20 people through school, 20 young people through school. A lot of the time, I've had to actually reach into my pocket and use my own resources because maybe the fundraising hasn't been as robust. But I'm happy to do it as long as I have the resources. I do it happily. Another moment, there's a young man in Russia who is doing medicine, who received a scholarship from the government. He's doing a degree in medicine in Russia. He's about to start his 4th year. And I think I would say I was instrumental in connecting him to that scholarship opportunity. So those are the things I enjoy doing. Other than my normal work, I enjoy also doing things that will uplift our community, because I think education is key. I think education is what will help us move up as a people and conquer some of the things that plague us today, such as poverty. Yes, and I'm very passionate about that. Yeah.
Great, perfect.